Hi, my name is Megan, and I'm writing a book called Surprised by Marriage, Happily Single to Happily Married. And I was pretty scared of marriage, basically. And partly, obviously, it was because I was not actually afraid of marriage. I just thought I was, but I was actually afraid of divorce and all that goes along with that. And I was afraid of a broken relationship and afraid of the stress of, the possibility of someone cheating on me, or just all the different circumstances that could come from being married, potentially. And so actually, one of the things that helped me was a book called When Bad Things Happen to Good Marriages. And it talked about all of these different circumstances. I mean, having a child with a disability, and like I already said, someone having an affair, and or not being able to have children. I mean, it covered everything, and it was very thorough, and that's what I needed, because my husband did not like that. We read a lot of books together before we got married, and that was his least favorite. But for me, I was actually just in the library. I wasn't seeking this book out, and I saw that title, and I was like, that is for me. That's what I need, because they didn't just go and talk about all these negative things and then like say, oh, and that marriage ended. No, it was, here's how they still were able to keep a strong marriage and relationship even in that circumstance. And that gave me so much hope, and just made me realize, okay, if that happens, I know how to prepare. I go find somebody else who went through that and was able to overcome it, and so I don't have to worry about it right now. I would let everything just overwhelm me, even though it hadn't happened yet. So that book was really helpful for me, even though it was, it could be kind of depressing, and sometimes it's just like, oh, so much stuff can go wrong. But I needed to know all of that and still be able to make the decision, like, yes, I still want in, even though I know any of that stuff could happen, health issues and all. So, one of the good things that to remember is like, okay, so usually probably not all gonna happen to you all at once. I mean, you can't not be able to have kids and then also have a kid with disability, so just keeping all of that in mind really helped. But one of the biggest things that helped was to realize that I've been afraid of other things in my life, and I've overcome that fear. So I thought about, how can I do that again in this case with marriage? And I thought about the things that I do that other people are afraid of, that I'm like, why are you scared of that? Like, that's crazy. And I was like, yeah, people probably are like that with me, with marriage. Like, marriage isn't scary. It's so fun and awesome. Like, why would you be that scared of marriage to not even give it a chance? And so I was like, okay, maybe I can think of this, because I know people who won't get on a plane or go to a foreign country because it's scary. But to me, I'm like, no, like, that is so fun. It's an adventure. It's awesome. So when I started thinking of marriage as an adventure, that really helped. But I've seen people be scared to drive over a bridge because there's water below and they don't know how to swim. And that was when I realized, like, that's such a huge part of it for me. I was like, I don't know how to be married. And so I realized, like, okay, I can build those skills and learn the things that would help me to have a good marriage. And so, thinking of people who can't swim, it makes me so sad, not mad. So sad, because swimming is like part of some of my best memories. I love going to the lake, the beach, the river, swimming pool, and I'm just like, feel like they're kind of missing out. And it's not like I'm annoyed at them and like, that's terrible. It's understandable for people who don't know how to swim, or maybe they've seen someone drown. I mean, you hear stories of people drowning a lot. Or same with like airplane crashes, and that's what people would tell me when I would travel to a different country. Don't you know what's going on over there? I'm like, don't you know what's going on over here? So, same thing for marriage. You can be like, don't you know what happens in marriage? Well, don't you know what happens while you're single? Like, there are negative things to any situation, and that shouldn't be the reason you do or don't do something. And so, just thinking about the swimming thing really opened my eyes and gave me a different perspective about marriage, and helped me to give it a chance and think about all the positive things that I could be missing because I'm not getting married. So hopefully that helps you, or you can think of some other circumstance that it could kind of apply to as well. And I continue to use that to help me whenever I think of that, I'm like, oh yeah, like swimming isn't always the best, but I'm prepared for it. It's like I'm not scared of it because I know the dangers involved, but I also know how to avoid those for the most part. And I realize that it's not as likely for something bad to happen to someone who knows the area or knows how to swim or whatever. And so I realize that can be true of marriage also. So I want to keep learning about marriage and gaining the skills to continue making it awesome.